Just doing a really quick video here. You may wonder why I've got a chainsaw in my wheelbarrow, which is full of water. But it's actually the easiest way to test sometimes where leaks are coming from. So I've got this set up. I'll make this kind of an addendum to my pressure testing video. This happens to be a Husqvarna 372. I've got the blocking plates installed with rubber pieces, so the blocking plates are nearly irrelevant. It's the rubber that actually makes the seal. On the intake side and the exhaust side, I've got all the other holes are plugged. The decompression valve is still in here, and this thing usually leaks at least a little bit. But I couldn't figure out why this was just bleeding down so fast. So if you pump this up, that's bleeding down quite quickly, and I couldn't hear it. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So one thing to do is check the seals. Is it coming from the seals, which is really the most important. So you can put it under water, and is the seal bubbling? No, it's not. But the bubbles are coming from over here. Where is that? What the heck? That's the intake. Why is the intake bubbling? This is not quite there. There we go. That's bubbling out the intake. That's where all the bleed down's coming from. And you can really have its whole thing submerged here and see that on this side there's no bubbles coming from there. So the seals on both on the crank on both sides are good, but something's up over here. So the saw did have low compression. It has a Chinese piston and cylinder on it with a fairly high squish. 063 is what I measured. So should be, you know, 040, 40 thousandths, and a nice tight squish would be about 20. But you can clearly see that you got an intake leak. So probably the intake was not placed on this properly. So let's pop the piston and cylinder and see what's up. I just wanted to give a quick, here's how you do it, to the guys that want to know how to dunk their chainsaw. Personally, I don't like doing this unless I'm definitely changing a whole lot of stuff out. I don't want water getting in into the crankcase, but I think in this case, whatever gets in there is going to be very, very small, and I'll make sure the crankcase is cleaned out real nice. The seals apparently are fine. I can imagine the bearings are fine too, but certainly something's up with the intake. So let's get that fixed, and hopefully get this guy a really nice rocking saw. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but Trevor, don't worry. This one's coming your way, and it will rock. Alright, later. Just to confirm, there are the bubbles coming out there. And there's some coming out here too, but that's because when this was rebuilt, you probably didn't use that tiny little O-ring. Now, an air leak from here is fairly inconsequential, but this is bad there at the intake. So, for some reason, that clamp is not doing its job. Don't know why, but cylinder's not bad. Clamp and boot is bad. So, let's get her fixed.